folks, welcome back to the Wyoming Way. Thanks for tuning in. Well, the last episode was entitled, Want to Raise Cattle, Better Make Hay. But it occurred to me that I actually didn't show any hay being made, technically, in that episode. So we're gonna fix that today. First thing I'm gonna do is go down here and just grab a hold of this hay and see what it feels like. And kind of get an idea if it's at the right moisture level right now to be baled. If it's too dry, when you suck it into the baler, that's a pretty violent process. It'll knock all the seeds and the leaves off of the stem of the plant and really diminish the feed value. If it's too wet, the bale will just sit there and mold over time, over the next few months, and it'll just turn into junk. So we want to put it up right around that 15 to 18, maybe 20% moisture range. So I can just feel by grabbing this hay, it's got a little bit of moisture in it. It feels really just about right. I think I'm gonna make a bale, and then I'll use the moisture tester probe and double check and make sure that the moisture is right, but it feels really good. Another thing you can do is make some twists. 3, 4, 5. So that twisted apart in about 5 twists, which is really good. If it took 8, 10, 12 twists to twist apart, it's still got too much stem moisture in the stems, and when you make a bale, it's going to have some moisture in it. It isn't properly cured yet. If it breaks apart in 1 or 2 twists, it's too dry, and you're going to have a bale that's too dry. So I think this stuff's ready to go. Okay, so to start baling, what I do, I get the RPMs up to about 1600. Just like so. I look back and make sure that my pickup is down in the down position, which it is. And I select the PTO speed I want. I'm doing 540 economy. Then I hit this yellow button twice, and that'll turn the PTO on and engage the baler. Now she's running, and we're ready to suck up some hay. Then when I get to the end of a row like this, I shut the PTO off, because when I turn really tight, I don't want that PTO having a big kink in it. It's okay, but I just feel like over time it'll kind of put stress on things. And when I get straightened back out onto the next windrow, I turn it back on. And what I'm doing, so you want to fill the baler equally, like left side and right side, because you want a nice flat bale. You don't want a bale that's fatter on one side and skinnier on the other. But I try to kind of steer a little bit over the windrow one way and the other, back and forth, so that I'm filling that bale chamber equally. And then I watch down here on my monitor, and you can see those 2 bars. You can see the left bar is a little higher right now. That means that the left side of the bale chamber is a little more full than the right side. So I'm always watching that, and I'm trying to keep those 2 bars as level as I can, and that'll create a nice flat bale. Okay, and then when it beeps, it starts tying the bale off, and you can see those 2 wheels are spinning, and that's sucking twine into the baler through the twine arms and wrapping twine around that bale. It takes about 20 seconds to do that process. Then those wheels will stop. Right there, the twine arms are returned to their home position. At this point, I pull back on this little lever right here, and there's a bar that pushes the bale, and even though I can't see it, I will feel the baler kind of lurch forward a little bit, and that means that bar has kicked the bale out. Then I shut the gate. I listen to make sure that the gate is closed, which I can usually hear, and then my monitor tells me that I am good to go. Kick it back into gear and make another one. That's how you make a round bale. Okay, so now we've made our first bale of the morning, and I'm just going to take this moisture probe and go check and make sure that we're at the right moisture, or in the ballpark at least. Stick this into the bale like that, and then take a reading. Right there it's saying 24.4%, which is a little high. $24. $25. Okay, we are still a little bit green. Little too much moisture in this hay yet to be baling. It's about, I don't know, 7:30 in the morning. So this is just part of haying. You just have to, sometimes you have to play the waiting game, and you know, I probably jumped the gun a little bit. The hay feels good in my hand, but the probe doesn't lie. So it's just a little bit on the green side and the wet side yet this morning. So probably about another hour. The heat, the warmth is going to come up. It's going to be 91 degrees today. Once the sun pops out, this will change in a hurry. And there's a little bit of a breeze right now. So we're going to get down into that kind of ideal zone pretty quickly. I'm saying within the hour probably we'll be good to go. Again, we shoot for that 15 to 20% moisture range. That's really ideal. Now, if you're a few percentage points on either side of that, it's not the end of the world, but you don't want to be messing with moistures above like 5%. It definitely is worth the time trying to get the right moisture level and put the hay up right, being patient about it. There's another cool way that you can tell, like visually, if your hay is a little too dry or too wet when you're putting it up. And the way you can do that is when the bale gets fully made and it gets tied off, you're stopped, but the bale is still turning. And about 8-10 feet in front of the bale, there will be a pile of kind of chaff. And if the bale is too dry, if the hay is too dry when you're putting it up, there will be a big pile of chaff right there, where that bale is just sitting there turning, and it's just literally knocking all the leaves off of it, and the leaves will just pile up right there in a line. And you know, there's this bale is a little too wet when you put it up just now. It's like 20-25% moisture, so there's hardly any chaff right here. There's just a little bit. You almost want to see a little bit more than that, because again, this bale's a little too wet. But like, if you're going along and all of a sudden you notice you've got this big, like 8-inch tall line of chaff there, you're getting too dry, and you're literally just knocking all the leaves off the bale. Well, while I'm waiting for this hay to dry out a little bit, I'm gonna go rake a few more windrows together. That give me something to do. Now, there's really only a couple things you need to watch out for when you're raking. The first one is you want to make sure that the windrows you're about to rake are pretty much to the point, moisture-wise, where they're ready to bale. And the reason for that is if you rake a kind of wet thing and another kind of wet thing and combine them together, you get one really, really wet thing. And then you have a doubled windrow like this that takes forever to dry down. And like by the time the inside of the windrow dries down, the outside is completely baked. So that's the first thing you gotta watch out for. Second thing you gotta watch out for is, you can see how tall and fluffy these windrows are after you rake them. You wanna make sure that the wind isn't forecasted to come up, because if you get 20-30 mile an hour winds, it will take these windrows and just literally blow them all the way across the field. And then you get to go rake again. Okay, well, about an hour has gone by and I raked a few more windrows together, and I can feel the heat starting to come up this morning. It's about 9 o'clock now, and we're gonna roll this stuff up because I think it's gonna be perfect right now. Okay, we're tying off a bale, then we'll run out and see where we are on the moisture. Okay, we're at 18.6. .4, 19.2. I like it. That's just about perfect, guys. It's right on the edge of being wet, but that'll be perfect because I got about 2 hours to do here, and by the time I get through it, we'll be kind of erring on the dry side. So we're right in that 15 to 20% range. We're gonna roll this stuff up. All right, folks. Well, we're just coming up on the end of this last windrow, and it's about 10:30. So, starting to warm up. Be interesting to see what this last bale tests at moisture-wise. But I have a feeling it's going to be just right. That's about the right amount of chaff right there. Just a little bit. .5. Perfect. 14.6. Well guys, I'm a very happy hay farmer today. This hay was all put up perfectly. We started out at like 19%, we finished at 15, so absolutely perfect. Everything went really smoothly this morning. Made about 20-25 tons of hay, which at today's market would be about $4,000 worth of hay, so not bad for 3 hours work. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching The Wyoming Way. We'll catch you on the next one.